Welcome again to the Groothandel e-commerce podcast. Today's episode will be in English since our guest is not a Dutch speaker. Um, and like every week, we dive into digital innovation in B2B wholesale. I'm Michel Willems, and today I'm excited to welcome Marius D'Souza from Klaviyo. Klaviyo is an email, SMS, WhatsApp marketing automation platform, maybe even broader than that, and is known for its robust personalization and deep customer insights. Yeah, they might be focused on CRM or B2C, but with growing B2B adoption, Klaviyo helps wholesalers cultivate loyalty and drive revenue with tailored messaging. Enough of me. Great to have you, Marius. Let's jump in. Marius, personalization is almost expected in B2C. As a consumer, you're used to get personalized messages. But does that translate to B2B? Why is it important?
Yeah, great question. And yeah, it's very important for B2B because you are still messaging a contact within a business. You are still trying to get a sale or trying to get some engagement from someone in that community, in that brand. So for me, it's personalization is always going to be key. It's just making sure to use the right information at the right time. And so one thing that is important for B2B is if you've got the information, use it and use it in the right way.
Perfect. Yeah. I think most account managers say in B2B, we do sales. It's all personalized, and with Klaviyo, you can even personalize at scale, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what are some common challenges B2B merchants face when they're trying to create targeted, relevant communications?
Yeah, this I've seen quite a few times. So when I'm working with customers on implementation and onboarding, one of the first questions I ask them, especially from like B2B and wholesalers, is what data do you have on your customers? And more often than not, they'll be like, not very much, very little, none at all. And I think this is the biggest, from my perspective, the biggest challenge because B2B marketers, the more data for any marketer, the more data you have, regardless of what industry, regardless of who you're emailing or SMSing, WhatsApping, any omnichannel, the more data you have, the more options you have to personalize, to trigger, and really make sure that the journey is right for the contacts that you're sending it to, even if it's B2B or B2C, and probably more especially for B2B because there's a very specific thing they're looking for. So you want to showcase that in your communication.
Yeah, it must be relevant. Otherwise,
Of course.
yeah. Cool. So personalization does work. According to you, how does it influence retention, order frequency, or other metrics like average order value?
So when you think about businesses and just people who are new, they receive your communications, you're basically building a relationship, right?
Mhm.
And so the more you personalize, the more you show this person in this company, I know who you are. I know how you purchase. I know when you, in a less creepy way, you know who they are and what they want from you. So when you do that personalization and that communication is geared to what they find relevant, people then are like, okay, this is more for me. This is specifically for me. It's got what I want. They know what I've done. It's easier for me to just click on a campaign, click on an SMS, click on a Facebook ad, anything like that, and know I'm being pushed to the right stuff for me. And for retention, if you look at some of the biggest be like B2B brands out there, or if you look at very specific industries, people keep shopping with them or keep using their services because that company, that B2B brand knows what their customers are looking for and continues to personalize it based off of that information. So again, back to my previous point, the more information you have, the more you should use it to personalize.
Perfect. Yeah. And the more information you have outside the head of the sales manager.
Yeah.
Yeah. Structures the information somewhere captured in a system or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone can use it then.
Exactly. Okay, so that's general automation, personalization for B2B. But let's zero in a little bit on Klaviyo because not every listener will be familiar with Klaviyo. What capabilities does Klaviyo offer for B2B e-commerce?
Yeah, sure. So Klaviyo is an expansive platform. It's scalable, and it's also just easy to use. So when you're coming in from a B2B, background, B2B company, um, because it's so easy to use, you have the ability to create those customer journeys. So for example, as long as you've got your data in the platform and we have an opening API as well, you can segment on the types of companies that you want to be targeting based off of the data you have. So for example, let me just say we are I forgot what it's called, like a company where they collect for construction, where they collect all of the dirt, the rubble. I think it's called skips. So
Waste management or something like that.
yes, perfect. Thank you so much. Sometimes you just forget the word. So for waste management, they can then find out which construction companies, which brands have utilized their products and what time frequency. So in the last 30 days, a year, however long you want. And if they're subscribed for whichever channel, then you can target them with any new products, new services, things like that. Automation is key, regardless of any industry you're in, and I think probably better for B2B. You can create flows based off of different data. So, most obvious one, welcome series. Yep, you want to definitely have a welcome automation flow. But thinking about, things like if someone's abandoned the sales process. So usually for B2C, they call it abandoned cart. But for B2B, I call it, abandoned process because they've abandoned sales process. So they've started, but they haven't completed and you want them to complete. It doesn't have to be a cart. It could be, for example, business insurance for not the funnest product, but it's there. So if someone has started that process, they haven't completed it, let's trigger a flow to try and get them on site and then complete the process to get more people to do that. So automations is a huge one there, but also usability and user interface. When it comes to a lot of B2B customers I've worked with in the past, they tend to have utilized a lot of, clunky or complex platforms, and they haven't been able to utilize more than 10% of its full capability. So I think definitely what Klaviyo offers, and what I've helped B2B customers on board with, is being able to use at the very least 75% of that functionality in onboarding. So I
Okay.
think
So part of it is, of the offering of Klaviyo is that there is a customer success manager that helps you to use the platform.
yeah, so depending on how when you come in or like what kind of how much you're utilizing in terms of your plan, there's different levels of onboarding and different levels of customer success. So
I understand.
regardless, there is always a level of support that you will have, and then as you grow, you then see those different offerings.
Okay, perfect. So a lot of automation, AI generating all kind of ideas or segmentations and things like that,
Yeah.
and sending them messages through email, SMS, somewhere this month, WhatsApp, if I'm right.
Well, I can't remember if it's this month, but yes, it will be coming out very soon. I'd probably say name a channel and we can likely connect with it and do it.
Exactly. Yeah, even on site. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Are there any specific B2B examples that you can share where Klaviyo really helped to increase repeat purchases or improve customer experience?
No, definitely. So there's a brand that I actually worked with directly. I can't name them for obvious reasons. But they did a similar thing with the kind of like the waste disposal management. I remembered it now.
Okay. Yeah.
And one of the things they did that really helped with retention was connecting and integrating their different systems.
Hmm.
So previously, they were never able to do that, but with Klaviyo, we advised them on how to use our API. And once they had connected, they had been able to connect their portal. So some B2B businesses have portals that customers or companies can log into, send that information into Klaviyo so we could do like an onboarding
Hmm.
flow. So say, hey, you've onboarded, you've created your account. These are the next steps. On top of that, they were able to send historical order information to us from their platform. So they were able to see who's placed what different types of orders for different types of waste disposal in the last like 5 years, for example. So using then segmentation to see who's VIP, who's almost like an inactive or a at-risk customer for them. And what that's been able to do is automate a lot of manual processes they used to have before, which means more time to think about strategy, think about data, think about hitting their goals, because most of what they were doing before is now automated in Klaviyo.
Cool. Cool. Um, well, you mentioned getting the a couple of times now, getting the data in, and you mentioned that with this waste disposal management company as well, that they integrated their ERP or portal. It was. How does Klaviyo integrate with B2B tech like ERPs or order management systems and things like that?
Yeah. So we have an amazing partnerships team where they work with different tech partners. So it's one of two ways they could do it is if we already have an existing relationship with the tech, there potentially is an integration pre-built. So that's one way of doing it. And we have a directory on our site where you can type in the company, and if it's there, or if it's one of the ones we've reviewed and approved, you'll find it. However, the other side, which is really, really like fun, is I have a very different definition of fun. So, is we have an open API. So customers, uh, if they have a development team or if they find a part, like they have a tech partner or company they work with, they want us to integrate with Klaviyo, they can build an integration utilizing our API. And that makes it, the reason why that's fun is that the customer then has the ability to say, they want this, and this. They can then integrate with Klaviyo and have the data that they need and want in the platform. So I call that custom integration. And I've seen a lot of different businesses in the B2B space build it and send over data that is different from each other, but works for them as marketers and as a business.
Yeah, I understand. And from my own experience, I know that there is even a blended form where you take an existing integration. There are a couple of hundreds
Yeah.
of integrations, so you probably find one, but you take an integration. But if there is one data stream needed, you can add something.
Exactly. And I think that's really interesting as well. You're not stuck or limited. You can adapt and get what you need from the
Yeah,
platform.
yeah, great. Um, Yeah, well, actually, we are way beyond the time because, well, you're telling two interesting things, Marius. But let's let's wrap it up a little bit. If you had one practical tip you'd suggest for B2B businesses looking to revamp their marketing with more personalization starting today, what would it be?
Data. Focus on your data and the platform you're using. I know that sounds like two, but the more you think about what you actually want to collect and use, then you'll understand what kind of platform is going to be best for you, whether that's, Klaviyo or something else. It makes the job a lot easier of being able to get to where you need to be.
Perfect. Well, Thanks, Marius. Thanks for your insights. One thing is clear. B2B brands that deliver tailored and timely messaging, they will deepen their relationships. And what you need for that is data.
Yeah.
That's very clear. And you have to integrate it, and that is easy to do. Well, to explore more, visit klaviyo.com or reach out to us. Another thing to do is come to our Groothandel event the 2nd of October in Rotterdam. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. And thanks for listening. Thank you very much.
No, thank you as well for having me.